everybody, I'm Alyce-Kay Ruckelhaus from Threshold of Hineni and the Widow Ruckelhaus, and we are going to work on master boards today. Okay, so I want to do 3 of them. I may not be able to get them all in today. We may have to split it into 2 or 3 sessions, but we'll get as much done as we can. These are the pages for the journal that we're working on. I'm going to set this aside because we really don't need that right now. I have my ruler to tear things with. I have a couple of books that I can pull stuff from. This one is about a life in stitches, which I thought was really appropriate since we're doing millinery, is the title of this paper pad, Modern Millinery, okay, which is hat making. And I pulled out some stamps. So I thought I'd just go through and just pick a few of these that I think are pretty, not really the US for this. That's good. Not Christmas, not US. Okay, so those are good. All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use white paper for my base. Sometimes I use like a paper bag, you know, so I can have it bigger, but I decided this time, especially doing it on camera, it might just be easier to do it with just regular white copier paper. Okay, so I'm going to set the stamps aside for now too, because those will be some of the last things that we put on. Let's see here. And then I've got a couple sheets that I had torn out that I want to go ahead and use. And then I've got these clippings that we clipped off of the 12 by 12s to make them 9 by 12. Okay, so I don't want to use the whole pieces of those or of this because I can use them as cards and tags, but we will get some of our cards and tags from the master board. So let me see, I'm trying to spread out here. Okay, so I want to start with the most boring pieces, and that's the things that are just black and white. Those are going to be kind of our background, and then we'll put stuff on top of them. I don't really have room for 3 pages here, so I guess I'll just do one at a time. Okay, so what we're trying to do is we're going to make a page that's kind of like a collage, and we'll have stamping on top of it. We can have stenciling, all kinds of things on top of it. One of them I will stitch, but since we'll use a lot of these for cards, I don't want to stitch on them because it's hard to write on the back. So we're going to collage them, and then we're going to cut them up into pieces later to use in the journal. Okay, so I'm just going to tear some pages out of here, maybe just one for this page. I got this at the Dollar Tree, so it's no big deal that I'm tearing it up. And I'm gonna tear this. It's easier to tear with the bigger piece. So I'm putting for a master board, I usually start with just like rectangles and squares and not try to do you know, like scrappy scraps. Well, let's see here. And it doesn't matter if it has some white space because we're going to use stamping and we'll be putting other pieces over it, smaller pieces and stuff, so it doesn't really matter. But I want to get rid of these big, huge white margins. And then I'll tear this into a couple pieces to use on the paper. Okay, and since we're gluing, I need to have something to glue on because I don't want to just get glue everywhere. So I've got a magazine or a catalog, I guess you'd call it. I don't have a big enough desk space here. It's a huge desk, I've just got a lot of junk on it. I'm going to throw away this page because it's already been glued on a whole lot. Okay, then I'm going to tear this into some pieces. They don't have to be perfect. I am trying to get them straight, but if they're not exactly straight, that's totally okay. Okay, so this one, the first one that we do, we're going to go ahead and glue. So I'm going to glue the back of this, and I'm just using Elmer's washable glue. I like the disappearing purple because then I can see when it's like done. I also have Yoo-Hoo that I really like, but you know, I have found that this Elmer's glue, and we want to glue the whole back of it because this is going to get cut up, so you don't want any loose pieces. I have found that the Elmer's glue works really, really well. dries on really nicely, quickly, and it dries smooth, and it stays. You know, I'm really surprised because I really expected edges to peel away, but nope. I even used it for a book cover, if you can believe that. Okay, and then try not to put it where I just, you know, put glue on the page. And you guys, I'm going to say the same thing that I have said a few other times on other videos. Please don't get catalogs just for using them for junk journals. They cost a lot for people to print, for companies to print, and especially if they mail them to you, they cost a real, I mean, can you imagine mailing something that thick? It costs a lot. So use stuff that you already have. Use junk mail that you get in the mail, or, oops, or get, you know, like a paperback book at the thrift store or something. But it's not really fair to cost somebody something for you to be able to junk journal. Does that make sense? Okay, so I'm gonna glue this one here too. Okay, and glue the whole back of it. Because when we cut it up, we don't want it to come apart. I want the edges to come up. Now one of them will sew. That's really my favorite way to do it, but we can use that for pockets and for belly bands and stuff, but not for cards that you're going to want to write on the back, because it's really hard to write over all that stitching. Okay, then I think I'm going to get, where can I put this? I'm going to get something from this. I don't really want the black stuff, but stuff that's got a design on it is really nice. Okay, like this would be good, or this actually fits the style of the journal a little bit better, so let's use that. We definitely don't want these guys, okay, because that doesn't fit with what we're doing. Okay, so then I'm going to tear this up into pieces, and I can tear all of this because I'm not planning to use it for cards or anything like I am the scraps from the paper pad. And it's kind of easy to go down the center of the design so that you've got it reasonably straight. Okay, and then let's cut this one this way. It's a lot faster to tear it than it is to cut. You can cut if you want, but I also like the uneven edges. I think they're really nice. Okay. And then this one I might just use whole like that because I'm going to put other stuff over it. And then this one can be cut up. The Dollar Tree is a great source for these coloring books. I think this one was like on clearance at Walmart or something. But the book is from the Dollar Tree. Okay, so let's just go ahead and glue these on. I'm going to tear off that page because I pretty much glued all over it. I folded so it doesn't stick to other things. I'm going to glue this. So while I'm gluing, because there's not really too much to tell you while I'm gluing, so my parents, my brother lives with them, and he's been tested positive for COVID. So, you know, he lives with them and he helps them and everything. They're 79 and 81. And he's been tested positive for COVID, so they're all quarantined right now. And my parents were going to get tested today, and I am anxious to hear how it went. They're all feeling good, and my brother's actually doing pretty well. He's been tired some. I think he might have had some trouble breathing at one point, but not really bad. And yeah, so he hasn't been too bad off, and he's in pretty good shape. So I think he's going to make it well. I'm a little worried about my parents because they are older. But we just trust God in these things, right? We know that God has a purpose in everything. And it's a little hard for me because I can't be out there with them. That's kind of driving me a little crazy. But of course they don't want me to get it. Okay, so I'm gonna put this right here. Okay, I don't want to have like all the same stuff, even though it's on the bottom. So that's all that I'm gonna do for this page, and I'll set these aside here to use on the other pages. Okay, now let's see what we want to cut up on here. Let's use some of, well, let's just cut some of each of them. Not cut, tear. Let's put the lid on the glue so it doesn't dry out. And I'm still going to use like fairly big pieces, but not quite as big for the most part. I think I cut that one a little bit uneven. It helps if I use my, yeah, I did. That's okay. It's not bad. That's okay. Alright, so I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to set this aside to use for cards and stuff. And cut a little bit of this. Let's move this out of the way. There we go. So I'm going to tear a little bit of this. Wow, I was going to be way off. And some more. And you know, it's like a different design on the back, so let's do one more of this. I think maybe just leave like enough for one card in the end. So let's say like about this big for a card. That aside to use for a card. Excuse me. All right, and then another piece. So this part can be a little tedious. I mean, if you wanted to, you could tear these up while you're watching a movie or something, because it doesn't take a whole lot of thought. But I know, you know, I thought about just doing this. In fact, I might, well, no. I thought about just doing this ahead of time, but I know that sometimes it helps people to actually see things in real time, especially when you're new to it. So, see, and I'm getting all different sizes, and then of course these are different on the back and everything. Let's do one more here. And this isn't all just for that one page, it's for the 3 different pages. Okay, let's get a little bit of this. Okay. And maybe one more. I think that if I have just 2 pieces, I'll use them both on the same masterboard. Not sure about that, but probably. Oh, I want to get some of that black and white too. Although I don't know, I've got quite a bit of black and white already on the page. So maybe not, I'm not sure, we'll see. And then here. Okay, that might actually be enough for all 3. I don't think we want to have black and white because we've already got that on the page. So we're gonna put those aside just to use for cards. And let's choose one more pink because we've got a lot of pink. And we can always cut more of these if we want. I think these are going to be nice for cards. So let's save those. This would be great. And I'm lining it up with the lines. I'm not being like super precise, but it just, you know, gives me, so there will be less waste if I have to, you know, I would have to cut some off or something. Okay, and let's cut 2 more here, and then we'll be done with that. Okay. So the town that I live in, we had hardly any COVID last year, but in the last month we've been hit really hard. I've had quite a few sick, and I don't know if, I know one person who died from it, a friend of mine, but I don't know if there have been other deaths or not. How have you guys been keeping yourselves through all this? It's just kind of difficult, isn't it? Okay, I was going to mix that up, but like I said, if I want to use each kind on one page, I think. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fill in this part right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill in the blanks and overlap some too. Overlapping is good. Get all the way around the edges, but then get all the inside too, because some of those inside parts will also become edges. Okay, and this is just a, I think it's like a Mod Podge roller. I'll put it on in the links below if you want to see like what I'm using and stuff. I'll have those below for you with links so you can find them. And we just start out with, you know, the bigger pieces and get smaller. I'm going to put this here instead. Whew, but I think I like this better. And I try not to put it on the glue page where I've already glued, because I don't want to get glue on the surface of it. But, you know, if I do, it'll dry. I think I got some on that one. Let's get, let's see, this or this. Yeah, how about stripes? So don't think about it too much. You know, like I was saying in the other video, try to just use your right brain, which is your creative part, and leave your left brain out of it. Your left brain is the analytical part, and if you start analyzing and thinking too much about it, then it's not going to be as nice. It just won't be. Yeah, I think down here would be really good. Okay, so let's, I know Gail Augustinelli, she uses a paperback, and she tears the pages and then folds them in half, and then she uses them for card backing. So that's pretty cool. This is so big, and I already have another catalog that I'm finished with that's ready to be used. So and since these are going to be pockets and stuff, you know, you can use pieces that are, you know, kind of wild and stuff if you want to. You can use the dark side of these. So like this, if we want to use that, which I think we do. Let's use that right there. I really like the flowers, so I hate that I'm gluing them on, but I want to get some different things on here. Put that right there. And how about something a little different? Some green here. I think this needs to come right there. So, and then we won't completely decorate these. We'll decorate them a little bit, but once you cut them and you know how you're going to use them, that's when you really want to put, you know, like Tim Holtz people on them, or butterflies and flowers and stuff. Right now you're just kind of making a background for other things that you'll put on here. What if we do that right? Yeah, right there, that's good. So masterboard, it's going to coordinate with the rest of your book, which is really nice. It just makes a very easy way to use the same papers throughout so that it's coordinating, but without being all matchy-matchy. So I really like that. Okay, and maybe just a little bit more here. What's on the back of this? That's polka dots. How about this right here? Or right there. Yeah, let's do that right there. Okay, and then I'm going to use my postage stamps that I had pulled out. Okay, so see how I still have a lot of the black and white background? Oh, here's a little bit of white right there too. Let's put something on that. Let's use something small though. Where's my ruler? Here we go. Oh yeah, that's good. I like that. Okay. Okay. All right. So then we can put away our glue. Well, we're going to still use the glue, but in a minute. Okay, I'm going to use these pieces probably on another piece of paper on another masterboard, but I may end up coming back and putting it here. Okay, so here I've got some stamps with the postmark on them. I like that, so I'm going to put those on some of these places like this. That's Baltimore, Maryland. Close to where I used to live. So that'll be good. Oh, why did I put away the catalog? Still need that. Is it sticky? Yes, it is. Okay. I'm going to use some of those on there. So those just make a really nice little highlight thing. Doesn't matter if you get them right side up or not. Okay, just tear so I don't end up with a lot of extra white. I didn't figure out where I was going to put this. Let's put it, how about right here? That's good. San Diego, California. And one more. Kind of prefer to do things in threes when possible. So maybe this one can go right. Well, I really kind of want it where I've got just black and white. Maybe right there would be good. Or right here. Yeah, like that. That would be good. Then we can put away the glue. Oh, like this. Yeah, that's except, yeah, it's upside down, but that's okay. That's not necessarily the direction that we're going to use it in, and even if it is, that's okay. All right, so I'm going to close up my glue. Always make sure that you wind your glue down because I've had caps get stuck on there, glued on. Okay, we're going to tear off that sticky page and put this away. Also, I highly recommend getting into the habit of cleaning up after yourself after each day's work on your journals and stuff because, oh my gosh, my craft room was such a mess. And I found, oh my word, so much stuff. I really shouldn't buy any paper for like a few years probably. Okay, so we've got this. And now we're going to use some stamps on it. Let's see, what do we have? Stuff that has like a lot of writing or a fairly intricate design I think is really good. I like this postcard kind of thing. Okay, and we're going to choose, let's see, a color that'll go with all of this. How about some green. Okay, so I'm going to, let's start with the biggest one first. Okay, so I've got to work it along the pad because the pad isn't quite big enough for it. And you know, we don't have to see the whole thing, so I'm not working on really making sure that every single part of it is inked up really well, because it's going to be over writing and stuff, writing and design, so it doesn't really matter if it all gets stamped on perfectly. It's just adding another, see, it's just adding another element to it. Okay, and I think I'll do another one just to use up the ink that's on it. Probably won't give us a whole lot, but it'll give us some. Okay, and then let's do this one here. Got that nice little filigree in it. Probably won't be able to read the words on top of all these designs, but that's okay. Mostly I'm trying to get the black and white parts, just to add a little bit more to them. But it's also getting on the other stuff. And let's put this up here. Okay, so you can't really read it. You might be able to read a word or two here and there, but not the whole thing. It just, I don't know, it just adds more design to it, more texture. Okay, and I've got that upside down, but that's okay. And I think I'll add some down here too. Okay, it doesn't matter that it's the same stamp, it doesn't matter that it's upside down. It's really just a design element. Okay, so then after we cut it out and stuff, we can put little things on it like, let's see if my people are here. If I can get to them without knocking anything over. I think they're in here. Let's see. Oh, no, that's not them. I thought this is where my little people were. Anyway, the Tillmalin people and things like that we can put on top of these. We may even put some lace on them and other things like that. So that's one, and I probably won't make another in the next video because I don't want you to get bored of having 3 in a row, but I will. In fact, do I even need to do it with you guys? I think I'll do the other one that's glued. I'll do that on my own, and then I'll do a sewn one with you. Okay? All right. I love you all. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.